And you're red mic?
You gotta call this a Middleboro review?
I'm going to kind of call this a special, yeah. 7 seconds. And good morning. That was our Middleboro in Review bumper. Might as well just call this a Middleboro in Review special. We have a couple minutes before the game starts here. Again, live on WVBF this morning, starting with a 9:50 a.m. pregame. Taunton will take on Milford. Live here on WVBF. Taunton is traveling to Milford for that game. You can hear the game live, starting at 9:50 a.m. with the pregame and 10 o'clock kickoff this morning. So that should be very, very exciting. Again, this is I'm calling this a Middleboro in Review special. I guess I guess we can call it that. Live on Facebook too, and open phone lines 508-822-1106. We're expecting a phone call in just a few minutes. I will keep that a surprise of who will call in just a few minutes, but we're expecting a phone call. But we have open phone lines for at least the next half hour. Again, good morning to Don. Good morning, Don.
Good morning. Good morning. Good news if you're good news if you drive around Bridgewater. The High Street Bridge is open.
Yes,
It's been under
nice.
construction. I think they opened it a few days ago, and I'm so excited because when I go from this area to my shop in East Bridgewater, that's my secret squirrel route, and I always forgot it was being worked on, so I had to drive around. But now it's open, and it looks like a beautiful bridge. Looks like they made it so they excavated it right with a lot of riprap rock, and it looks like the river itself is prepared for any kind of high waters. So I mean, it's really a bridge of the future.
Oh, and 1 second, we have a phone call. Good morning. Yeah, can you hear me? Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah. 9:50 sounds good. 9:50, that sounds good. And you and you two will be doing the game. We're live here on we're doing a little live preview kind of thing. You two are doing the game today. And so that should be exciting. Again, 9:50 a.m. Start for that pregame, and we'll talk to you guys then. Yep. Yes. At 9:50. Yep. Yes, absolutely. All right. Sounds good. Yep. Bye. All right.
Okay, we're getting set for football.
Getting set for football. Everything sounds good with the phone lines.
So the Taunton team had to take the journey down 495 to Milford this morning.
Yep.
So it's always exciting when you're on the road. Either you're going to the next town or you're going several towns away. For a lot of people, a lot of kids who don't. I mean, they might travel with their parents or whatnot, but to get out of town and see different areas is always exciting, especially at that age. I've always been a traveler myself. Even when I got my license, I'd end up in New Hampshire or Maine or go to New York for a cup of coffee. It's just something that really, traveling is a big part of my life as far as moving around. Adventure. It's always good, right?
Adventure is very important, and and
you and I've been on a lot of adventures.
yeah, and
so it's very important. Any kind of adventure. I like adventure, movies. I like, adventure documentaries. I like going on these quirky little trips. especially a lot of rail fans out there. There's a bunch of them out there who do these crazy loop trips and stuff. They take different forms of transportation around. So it's really interesting to keep things moving. But sometimes I just like to be in one spot too and just look around and enjoy what we have at home.
Carver will be hosting Middleboro today. My hometown, Middleboro Sachems, will be traveling to Carver to take on the Carver Crusaders, one of the finalists in Division 8 to make it to the state Super Bowl. Again, they'll be facing off in the Super Bowl in Division 8 in just a few weeks. So that should be fun to watch there. Carver will most likely sit their starters. So it should be an interesting game for both sides. And see how that game shakes out. Don, your thoughts on that?
Well, it's pretty good because Carver usually lost a lot with Middleboro through all the years. And to see them in the Super Bowl is huge. I would love to see them go all the way. And it'll be interesting to see what the Thanksgiving game's all about because obviously they're not going to be playing their starters most likely. They got to preserve their starters. So like what Middleboro did here, 2017, they started their freshmen and their sophomores, and they almost won. They came close. I mean, they're playing against seniors and juniors, so it might be the same. Who knows? I'm not the coach. I'm not sure what their plan is, but obviously you have to preserve your starters for the big game, right? So
absolutely, yeah.
So it would be interesting to see that game on TV later on. I like to watch it. I'm sure it's going to be on TV somewhere, right? Access TV.
It might be live.
Yeah.
It might be live on the Middleboro High School athletics page. It might be live there.
Yeah, look around.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it will be.
Just keep an eye on that phone,
Keep an eye on it.
We definitely.
Yeah. Well,
I hope I call. I texted this person. I told him I'll text them, but you know
We'll
how
see.
it is. They could have forgot.
We'll see what happens. Again, we do have open phone lines. 508-822-1106 if anyone wants to call in. Wish us a happy Thanksgiving. Tell us what you're doing on this beautiful Thanksgiving morning.
What are they doing in the town of Great Barrington?
Great Barrington? A lot of things.
Well, Great Barrington is where the church was for Alice's Restaurant.
Yes.
That's where the whole story went down as far as Alice's Restaurant, Al Guthrie.
And they actually in Great Barrington is where the performing center is as well,
Yeah.
that's a really good performance center. We've been there, and
Yeah.
that's really cool.
Yeah, it looks like it's a nice intimate spot.
Yeah.
And I'd love to see Al there sometime. Maybe we should try to look into
Absolutely.
because I've never seen Al Guthrie.
I'd love to do that too.
And they got like a little kitchen area. They got a little, and then it's funny too because Alice's Restaurant's been playing on radios at 12 o'clock. So,
Yes.
For years.
Yeah.
And what's exciting about that is it's the one time that like a rock station will play that song. It's probably one time any radio station will play that song.
Yeah.
It's on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
3 o'clock, whatever. But it's always been a big part of my life, listening to that. I don't know why. I mean, I could dial it up on YouTube. I think I have it on CD. But something about listening to it on the radio, uninterrupted, is something that's always brought Thanksgiving to me. It's really my tradition as far as, and I kind of brought you into the fold too, because we'd go to the football games, and usually the game would get done just around 12, and I always be nervous about being at the radio at 12 o'clock, just to have you play Alice's Restaurant. And it's funny too, because the song itself, if you listen to the song, it's very, well, I'd say about maybe 40% is about Thanksgiving, and 60% is about something else.
Exactly.
I mean, that was going on at the time, but I mean, it's more of a tradition. It's just
a lot of the radio stations used to have a double shot of Thanksgiving songs. They used to have Alice's Restaurant, and then right after that was
Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler, yeah.
Yeah,
Adam
yeah.
Sandler after that as well. So
Yeah, that was he got right into the fray, and I think some of these stations stopped playing, but I'm not sure.
I think a
what.
lot of them did,
Yeah, I mean that's.
if not all of them. I never hear
It was a good,
Adam
yeah,
Sandler.
it was a good hour of just, and Adam Sandler kind of walked right into that, being younger than obviously Al Guthrie.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just you go, it's your tradition, that's you. But I mean, it's just these little traditions, even though how small, are important, in my opinion, especially with Thanksgiving, especially when people get together. And I know traveling to meet somebody, sometimes could be fun or it could be a pain. People sit in traffic, they leave in the middle of the night, so they don't hit traffic. But it's important because at the end of at the end of it all, the family's together, having mashed potatoes and hopefully not talking about politics,
Yeah.
But it's important, and it's just a day we can just have off in the middle of the week. It's nice. And if NFL, you can always count on traditional. Who is it?
It's Lions and Cowboys.
Lions and Cowboys.
Yeah.
If you want to see the Lions and Cowboys, guaranteed you can see it on Thanksgiving.
Absolutely, and you will be.
Yeah,
Lions versus Packers and
right.
Cowboys versus Commanders. So it's gonna be fun.
Right.
It's really fun.
Yeah.
So we're doing something a little bit different this year for our Thanksgiving dinner. We're doing ham this year. Gonna be interesting for sure. I love ham. I'm a huge fan of ham. Huge fan of turkey. Some of the other stuff, mashed potato, sweet potato, squash. Not really a big fan of cranberry sauce. A little bit. But most of the things that you usually see on Thanksgiving, I'm a fan of. Now, stuffing's another thing I really haven't tried before.
It really depends on the stuffing. Sometimes the stuffing can be too rich.
Yeah.
For my taste, I like the dry stuffing. I don't like it too moist. I like it sort of dry because the mashed potatoes and the squash. You like the squash, right?
I do like squash, yes.
You like summer squash, or you like winter? Winter squash is normal squash. It's
Probably
the orange
probably the normal. Probably the winter.
winter squash.
Yeah.
I don't know how I got that name.
Yeah.
The squash is squash.
Probably the regular stuff, yeah.
Well, no, because kids are like, what's the difference?
I don't know.
Summer squash. What's the difference between winter squash? Winter squash.
I probably like both.
They're both called squash.
Yeah.
But it's summer squash and winter squash is the orange.
Yeah.
So gravy, you gotta smother with gravy, right?
Gravy's
Smother.
okay.
No. You have to smother with gravy.
I've had gravy. It's okay.
And a couple rolls on the side.
Yes.
We got some pies.
Yes.
Our favorite place up the street.
Yes.
They were selling pies. They had the pop-up week, and I got a pumpkin pie, I got apple pie, and I got some ice cream last night.
Yeah.
So we're all set on that department. We got a ham tip. We got a ham.
Yes.
We're not doing turkey. We're doing ham. And but as far as traditional, it's turkeys and whatever, mashed potatoes. If you don't like mashed potatoes, some people will do steak fries with gravy on them. Yeah. Probably.
Nah.
You like,
Anything with gravy on it, really.
oh, you gotta love gravy. Gravy's gravy.
I've tried it a
Ever
couple. I've tried it a couple times, and I'm just it's all right. I don't hate it, but I don't really love it either. I'm in the middle.
You haven't lived.
I'm in the middle when it comes to the gravy.
Yeah.
Open phone lines today, 508-822-1106. 508-822-1106 is the number. Call in. Now, what are you doing on Thanksgiving today, or what will you be having?
I know what the town of Hull is doing later.
A bonfire.
Yes. I've been driving by Hull for the last 3 weeks to a month. Driving back and forth my job, and I'm seeing the pallets getting bigger, larger and larger. It's almost like 35, 40 feet high.
Yeah.
They got an excavator there stacking. I've been watching them, and they got to have, I think tonight, it's 6:30 they say, at the beach, town of Hull, doing the bonfire. And I think they've been doing it all along. I'm not sure how long, I'm not sure what, but as long as I've been working, in that area, driving through there, prior to Thanksgiving, I've always seen that pile of ballots. So it's a big pile of ballots. Oh my God! Oh, yeah, I mean, you probably be able to see it from anybody out in the ships out there. Probably be able to see a big fire. See from looking in. So that'd be interesting. And I'm in Hull. I'm driving in Hull tomorrow. I'm driving
Nice.
right by that. I'm going to see that. It's not going to be cleaned up. It's going to be a
No.
big child mess.
No.
And they'll probably be there cleaning up in the morning. But it's I never seen so many ballots stacked up in my life. So it's pretty good that they have that tradition. Because I guess they can have it. There's no trees. There's no structures. The beach is probably a few hundred feet from where the spot is. So that would be good. I mean, that sounds like a lot of fun. 6:30 is going up.
So we have about 15 more minutes left in this program. We'll go until about 9:45. And then we'll be doing a couple of commercials. And then pregame for the Taunton versus Milford game will be happening at 9:50 a.m. Stay tuned here live on WVBF. The pregame, 9:50 a.m. And then Taunton versus Milford, again live here on WVBF at 10 a.m. this morning. So that's gonna be great. So that's coming up in just about a half hour's time, a little less than half hour's time now. The pregame, 20 minutes about that time or so. So let's break down a couple of some Thanksgiving football.
Should I say one thing before?
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely, yes.
The move over law.
Yes.
On it. Big on the move over law. Please move over. You have law enforcement. You have fire EMTs out there doing their job on the interstates, especially the state troopers on the highways. They have to work Thanksgiving. They're away from their families, and let them get home. Please move over, and please don't be in a situation where you have to have a Massachusetts state or any police agency pull you over for something stupid. Okay, just pay attention. Don't text and drive. Just pay attention. At the task at hand. You have a task. You have to get from point A to point B, and especially if you have family members and everybody, you need to get them safe. You need to think about the other people who are on. There's a lot of people on the road, so don't even get in a situation where you have to get a state trooper or a police officer out of their vehicles to deal with you on the side of the highway. Especially with 24. 24 is like, in my opinion, is the most dangerous highway that I know of in this area. 24 is terrible. People fly down 24. So just, if you see a state trooper, you see them for a long time out, so just please start to move over early. Don't wait till the last minute. If you can't move over, just go down to a safe, slow speed. What I do is I just slow it down, and I just get down to like 50 miles an hour. And the law states if you can't move over, go slow. Get ready to move out of the way or whatever. But I mean, they just don't want people flying by and losing control, because you say you go by a state trooper doing 75 miles an hour and your tire blows right at that time. You got to lose control and careen right into the cruiser, careen right into the vehicle he has pulled over.
Yes.
Disaster on the side of the road. I mean, it'd be better. So it's just keep that in mind. There are motorcycles. It's a nice day. I'm sure some people out there bikes. So check twice for motorcycles, because you think people put the bikes away yet? No. Usually it doesn't really happen in bulk until you get the first the salt start hitting the ground after the first snow. Then people would say, okay, it's done. I mean, because a lot of smart people who ride bikes don't like the salt and the sand and whatnot. So it's just a good safety trip. Just get home safely, and happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yes, absolutely. Again, open phone lines, 508-822-1106. Let us know, what are you going to be doing today for Thanksgiving? Watching football, relaxing. What will you be doing? 508-822-1106 is the number. I want to just quickly say that tomorrow I'll be filling in for Chris Keach, doing the morning wake-up news. Tomorrow is Black Friday. Again, I'll be filling in for Chris Cage doing the morning wake-up news tomorrow morning. So just wanted to mention that. Make sure I mention that. All right, and now, Thanksgiving football. Now we're going to break down everything. Break down some of the local and some of the important Thanksgiving football games and the local ones as well. So let's do that now. In the results that have already taken place, you got King Philip and Franklin. King Philip defeating Franklin 35-0 in a game that was played at Fenway Park, actually. And that is a fun experience, I'm sure, for the high school football players to play Thanksgiving football for your school, and plus to play at Fenway. That is a huge thing and a very exciting thing as well. I think Brockton did it last year.
At Fenway?
Fenway, yes. And then now Franklin and King Philip are doing it. They did it this year. Yeah. At Fenway.
Fenway Park?
Yes, Fenway Park, yes.
Really? Just one game?
There was a couple.
Really?
I don't remember the other ones.
I thought it was all Gillette, no?
No, it was Fenway. No, that's the Super Bowls.
Oh, okay, yeah.
This is special Thanksgiving football. This started a couple years ago.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes. Blue Hills versus Bristol Plymouth. Blue Hills defeating Bristol Plymouth 22-6. South Shore versus Holbrook Avon. South Shore defeating Holbrook Avon 41-30. Some of the other ones, we got Tri-County versus Old Colony. Old Colony defeating Tri-County 43-8. We got Quabbin versus Gardner. Gardner defeating Quabbin 31-16. We have Bishop Fian versus Bishop Stang, 31-6 win for Bishop Fian. We have South Boston versus East Boston. It's a win for East Boston via a forfeit. I don't know what the story is with that. That's a little interesting. The South Boston versus East Boston game not taking place, forfeited. I'm not sure what that's all about. Old Rochester versus Apponequet will take place today, 10 a.m. All these games are at 10 a.m. Pretty much. North Attleboro versus Attleboro, 10 a.m. Norton versus Bellingham, 10 a.m. We have Milton versus Braintree at 10 a.m. Brockton versus Bridgewater Raynham. We have Middleboro and Carver, 10 a.m. Again, that's an interesting one. Carver will be sitting their starters, most likely. So that should be a very interesting game. Seekonk and Dighton Rehoboth. Fairhaven versus Dartmouth. Greater New Bedford versus Diamond. Some other ones. Dover Sherborne versus Medfield. New Bedford and Durfee at 10:15 a.m. Marshfield and Duxbury. Boston Latin versus English High. Boston Latin versus Boston English. That is going to be a huge one, Don. That's one of the oldest Thanksgiving rivalries in the state.
No kidding, huh?
Yeah, that's going to be a big one. Boston Latin and Boston English.
You got North Quincy and Quincy High.
Yes, we got North Quincy and Quincy
and
High.
What's funny about that, they play at the same stadium, at Veteran Stadium on Hancock Street.
Yep.
And where that is located is like halfway between, it's like right on the line. It's like right on the north and, Wollaston and Quincy Center line. It's like dap in the middle of Quincy. So the only thing that's different is the visitors. If you're a visitor here, you go over to the side, to the left, to the back part there. If you're looking at it, you're on the other side. and if you're the home, you're over on the street side.
Yeah.
That's the only difference. But that they go to the same place. They travel like all these other towns. They got to travel to these different towns, and you know what's interesting is if you've ever got a group of towns that, I mean, they play real far away.
Yes.
Meaning, like a town around here has to go to like the Central Mass or something
Yes.
like that. I mean, it'd be fun to look that up to see how. I mean, because you've said stuff about football teams got to go to like I don't know, Middleboro and way down the Cape, or
Yeah.
I mean, even Milford and Taunton. I mean, it's not that far, but far enough, right?
Milford is far.
It's a little. I mean,
It's a little far.
a little ride.
A little bit of ride.
But you've said that, and I don't remember the towns, but I was like, wow, that far. So it'd be funny. I want to check it out because that'd be cool because you're talking miles and miles in between, and you wonder what's the rhyme and reason why a teams from like around here would be playing a team from the Berkshires or something like that.
Yeah, but
how the hell that happen?
Sometimes you'd have an interesting thing, like, say a team like Lee. I don't know if Lee has a football team, but if they do, I think they do. If Lee has a football team, right? If Lee wins like a state, goes to a state championship, I have to travel all the way from Lee, which is pretty much the border from Massachusetts and New York. It's pretty much right there, all the way to Fenway, which is a very, very long ride from Lee.
Oh, so Lee is in Fenway? Yeah, nice.
What?
So Lee.
No,
is,
I'm saying if they.
yeah,
I'm just giving an example.
I'm talking
If
about
Lee.
I'm talking about regular schedules, like.
Oh, for like Thanksgiving.
Well, not Thanksgiving, even just regular.
A regular football game?
Games. You just you
Yeah.
look at the schedule. It's like, why is Spencer playing Yarmouth or something? I mean, I don't know. I'm not looking. I'm just
Yeah.
guessing here. But
Exactly.
you look at some of these, it's like, who thought that one up?
Yeah.
I mean, but then you got then you got like Norwell and Hanover, but they play each other. I mean, they're neighboring towns, obviously.
Absolutely. And you got a couple other Thanksgiving games here to talk about. Lynn Classical versus Lynn English. That's another big one in Lynn. Situate and Hingham, Cohasset and Hull. You got several other ones: Foxborough and Mansfield, Sandwich and Mashpee, Taunton, Milford. And you got Dennis, Yarmouth, and Nauset. Quincy, North Quincy, which we just mentioned a few minutes ago. Northbridge takes on Uxbridge.
We have a friend who lives in Northbridge.
Yeah. You got
But I mean, that's normal. Uxbridge is the next town over.
Hanover and Norwell, Dedham and Norwood.
Is Hanover? Hanover's in the
Oliver
Super Bowl,
Ames and
right?
Sharon. What?
Hanover's in the Super Bowl, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think they are.
Plymouth North and Plymouth South. That's another huge one.
Yeah.
In Plymouth. You got. I mean, you have many, many more. We'd be here all day if I mentioned them all, but there's a lot.
It's funny too because when we watch the news, it's funny how they run the scroll on TV of all the winners.
Yeah, there's
And
a lot of
there's
there's
a
a lot
lot
of
of-
games.
and-
There's a lot of games. There's 350 plus towns.
Yeah, but
In-
there's
in
not
this- in the
350
state.
games. I mean,
There's not 350
every town has
games,
a
no.
bunch, But I mean, it's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of games.
It's funny, like I said earlier, it's just like seems like Thanksgiving is based on high school football. High school football overtakes everything.
Yes.
I mean, you only got
Yes.
only one NFL game.
No, you got three. So let me break those down here. We have Packers and Lions, 12:30 p.m. start. You got the Cowboys and the Commanders. Of course, the Lions and Cowboys are the two teams that regularly play on Thanksgiving. They play every year.
They play, but they usually play each other. The Bears play too. Or?
No, they don't play each
I thought
other.
they played each other.
No, they don't play each
They
other.
just play.
They just play on Thanksgiving.
Is there a third game added in? 'Cause I remember
There is a third game added in, and that will be the Thursday night football game between the 49ers and the Seahawks. That should be a fun one. Both teams are pretty good. That should be a fun one tonight. But it all gets underway at
Why are they
12:30.
changing things around? I mean, for years it's only been the two games.
I don't know.
Now they gotta start. Now they gotta start messing with tradition.
And now you have one.
They got 3 games.
Well, yeah. Now you have one Thanksgiving game in college football too that I want to mention. 12th ranked Ole Miss will be taking on Mississippi State. So that's an in-state. That's an in-state thing. Mississippi. It's going to be an in-state battle.
Nice.
It's going to be very interesting to see what comes of that game, because that's going to be fun. Those two teams. Thanksgiving always brings some competitive football games for sure. And Ole Miss and Mississippi State. I think that's going to be a competitive game, even though the records are kind of lopsided. But that doesn't mean anything in football. Doesn't mean anything in sports. Your record could be 3-30 going into a game, and you're facing off against one of the best teams in the league, and you beat them. So it really depends on the day. When it comes to sports, it really depends on the game. So it's interesting stuff. We got about 2 minutes left. I want to thank everyone for listening to this little special edition. I guess we could call it a special edition of Middleboro in Review. I'm Joey Driscoll.
I like coming here. I love this. I love that. I'll call another. I've never called. Maybe we can have this call up again next year or sometime. I'll make up or something.
Absolutely.
Like that. But I mean, it's Thanksgiving and people like to sleep in too.
Yes.
Thanksgiving. So,
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
this person's really pretty good about but I mean maybe they forgot or
Sleeping in or busy.
Yeah, then they got to find out, look at my text and say, oh, I should have called in. But no big deal. I mean, because we can run our mouths just...
We can always get this guest to call in at another time.
Yeah, but no, that's great. Thank you. This is great having it. And enjoy the football game, everybody.
Absolutely.
And have a great, Thanksgiving and enjoy. And just be safe out there, please.
Absolutely.
When you go home.
Definitely. Please be safe.
There's so many professionals out there who have to work on the side of the road, and just like I said, it's your task at hand. It's a job. Just drive. Don't do anything else. I know life is busy, and it was and you get so much going on.
If you are drinking at all tonight, get an Uber or have a designated driver.
Set up an Uber. If you don't have an Uber account and you like to have a few drinks, just set up an Uber account. It's
very important.
It's just like it's just when Uber rides can be a lot cheaper than paying any kind of DWI charges or whatever.
Yes.
And so it's just all I can say is be careful and have a great Thanksgiving.
All right, we gotta go. I want to thank everyone for listening to this little special episode of Middleboro Review, I guess we can call it. And stay tuned. Pre-game for the Taunton versus Milford Thanksgiving football game is coming up in just a few minutes, so stay tuned. We'll be right back with that in just a few minutes. Bye, everybody.